Lately, I've been contemplating what makes a game's thematic storytelling really stick in my mind. And more than the graphics or the dialogue, and on par with the game and character design, I think the thing that takes me back to a world the most is the music. Underlying every story beat and tonal shift is a melody, weaving together the thematic and narrative tapestry of the story. Music has a way of turning back the clock to a moment in time, an imprint of some past version of you forever left in the notes and melodies, lying in wait for you to one day rediscover them. Speaking of music that takes me back, let's take Pokémon for another example. Just playing the intro takes me straight back to playing on my Game Boy Advance on the car ride home, trying to catch the light from the street lights zooming by and getting motion sick from staring at the screen. That was fun, kind of. It did give me a headache though. Because of the limited amount of space and cartridges back in those days, those early gen games really did so much with so little. Just take a listen to these different soundtracks and feel what they convey. The dulcet tones of a quaint little village, good old Cherry Grove City from Heart Gold and Soul Silver, where life is more simple and pleasant. You can feel that this is one of the earlier locations in the game, meant to ease you into the world and gameplay. The next one, though, is not so cheerful. If you're familiar with old school creepypastas, then you've no doubt heard this track. The Lavender Town theme is one of the most famous in the series, and for good reason. It's completely different than anything we hear in later entries. The eerie, high-pitched tones and the backing melody, reminiscent of a church's organ, create a lonesome and bewitched atmosphere, which deviates completely from the series' more cheerful tone. This is a place of mourning, a literal Pokémon graveyard where you can encounter ghosts and grieving trainers, and the theme reflects that perfectly. Next up, we've got If Impending Doom Could Be Played on a Piano. Bjorn immediately made aware by these imposing-ass piano keys. In the Pokemon games, Cynthia is regarded as one of the strongest champions and hardest battles in the series, and her theme appropriately rises to the occasion. She's got a well-balanced team with some kick-ass Pokemon, and you're lying if you said you never had trouble with that goddamn Garchomp. But then, this shit turned into a straight-up banger. I don't even want to battle anymore because this shit is so heat. Cynthia showed up looking clean as hell too. She got the fur on and everything. Battle music in RPGs is perhaps the most important thing to get right. It's the thing you'll be hearing the most of, so it has to straddle the line of being recognizable so that you know instantly what kind of battle you're facing. But it also has to fade into the background just enough so that it doesn't get old. Equally importantly, it lets you know when an enemy has spotted you so that you aren't surprised when they start to attack you. Sometimes this results in the battle music cueing when you can't even see the enemy and you end up just kind of shaking your fist at the wind like an old man. But it's better than randomly getting snuck up on or not knowing when you're in a fight. Then there are the ever so important boss fights. And of course, boss fight music must be imposing, climactic. It must make the boss they play behind feel like the threat that they really represent. These are often the pinnacle moments in games. They can't just have a average run-of-the-mill soundtrack behind them. They must be as grandiose as the occasion calls for. But it's not all about the battle music and epic moments. Sometimes it's all about the ambiance. I find that water levels often have the best soundtracks in a lot of games. Maybe that's just me, but even though a lot of water levels control like pure dog ass, especially back in the day of games like Donkey Kong, I would find myself revisiting them often just because I enjoyed the atmosphere. There is a greatly underappreciated art in making the music feel like the setting. I mean, why does this track sound like water? And why does it low-key make me feel like I'm in the middle of an existential crisis? Kidding aside, to be honest, A lot of it is cultural context and ethos from previous soundtracks in games and movies. Being underwater feels like entering a whole other world, so the music in these levels often has an otherworldly feel to it. It leans heavily into those long, drawn-out synthy whines. A very delicate piano, and if you notice, there is a very hollow note in the background that sounds very reminiscent of bubbles. While we're on the topic of ambiance, Minecraft, to me, is the pinnacle of background music that never gets old. I find it quite funny that Minecraft nowadays gets associated so much with the high energy, "What's up everybody? Today we're going to see how many villagers we can hit with the Predator drone in this new Minecraft mod" type of YouTubers and streamers. I guess I understand it because Minecraft was played mostly by kids and kids like high energy stuff, but I always felt like Minecraft itself had a much more subdued feel to it. I mean, the original C418 Minecraft soundtrack is straight up beautiful, even if you aren't a fan of the game. Everything about Minecraft to me has always been about this air of peace and solitude in a way. Especially in the early days of Minecraft when the landscape was a lot less detailed and it had that foggy effect because of the render distance. The lighting was a lot darker too. Everything was a lot more liminal and lonesome back then. It's no wonder why theories of Herobrine, some ghostly figure lingering just at the edge of the fog, abounded in the early days. And you can't tell me that's not how the game was originally supposed to be designed with these creepy ass cave noises. I mean, what the hell was that? Those are the kinds of sounds you would expect from awakening some kind of demon, like some Mines of Moria type shit.
Drums. Drums in the deep.
Anyway, let's talk about the other game that comes to mind when I think of Ambiance. Journey is another game that has an undeniably excellent OST. It's orchestral, it's serene, it's one of my favorites and why I come back to this game every year. And more than any other game in this video, so-called walking simulators like Journey depend heavily on their soundtrack to get the themes across, especially because there is no dialogue, and the characters in the game are pretty much all covered up, so you can't tell emotions through facial expressions either. It was critical to nail the music, because essentially, the music is the story. That may seem like it would make the storytelling difficult, but music is just as capable of telling a story as written word. Like how if you've ever listened to an orchestra, certain melodies give you certain pictures in your mind. The orchestra of Journey masterfully guides you through the highest of highs to the lowest of lows, with nothing but a key change. Now, last but certainly not least, we've got to talk about theme music. In my opinion, a good theme song should let you know what the feel of the game is going to be before you even hit start. Metal Gear Solid 3 has been on my mind because of the recent remake. I think it is a perfect example of this. If you didn't know who Snake was and you simply saw footage of the gameplay, you may not fully catch on to what the series is about. But the James Bond-esque theme music should clue you into the super spy themes and stealth-focused gameplay. A proper theme song can culturally anchor an entire franchise in the public consciousness. This theme song was able to make a 2-minute ladder climbing sequence into one of the most iconic moments in gaming. The great thing about theme music as well is that it doesn't have to fit specific plot points. It's free to go more conceptual. Halo, for instance, goes the opposite direction of what you might think for a first-person shooter. Its iconic theme starts with an angelic chorus, which I love. There is beauty in that tonal dissonance if done right. I feel it conveys that even though the game is about war, there is still a wondrous aspect to humanity reaching out into the stars. And of course, after that beautiful refrain, they go into the more action-focused theme you would expect from a game like this. Theme music gets to reflect all aspects of its story. It gets to have its cake and eat it too. I feel like there's still a ton I could go into in regard to video game music, like how I think certain franchises like Sonic kinda get carried by having good music and shit games, but I feel like I've made my point clear enough. Music in games can elevate and even create narrative, themes, and gameplay elements that may be impossible to convey with physical game design alone. Music has the ability to transcend time and take you back to how you felt when you first played a game. And unlike graphics or gameplay, music never gets old. So if you want a game to have a legacy, screw the graphics. Invest in the soundtrack.